The Blues Fan Forum podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to bring you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media.
This is Jordan Bennington, and you're listening to the Blues Fan Forum podcast.
Skating on the ice, under St. Louis city lights, where the Blues play with all their might. Jordan Cairo, fast on the attack, but defense falters, gotta cut him some slack. In rubber tones, we find our glory. His skills shine, the team's best story. St. Louis Blues, we wear the crest. In Jordan Bennington, we put our trust to the test. On the ice, we fight and we must, for the city we love. In the blue, no we'll thrust.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 161 of the Blues Fan Forum podcast, your source for Blues news, views, and fan interviews. Presented by Scooter's Coffee. Blues fans can score amazing drinks like the signature Caramelicious, served hot, iced, or blended with world-class espresso, fruit smoothies, Scoot energy infusions, and so much more. That is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooter's Coffee. We are back with another episode. We are live right now on Facebook and YouTube. We will be reacting to the NHL draft lottery, which is about to get going right now. I have it on my screen. So if you see me just kind of looking away a lot, it's because I'm checking out what's going on there. I don't have any sound on that, so I have no idea what they're saying. We are guestless this week, but we do have Dakota with us. Dakota, how are you?
What's going on, everybody? We're here to talk round 2 hockey and all those matchups and all the fun that goes along with that. But like Jacob mentioned, draft lottery time. If you're a Blues fan, boy, you're crossing those fingers and hoping we get the first round draft pick. But they say we got a shot. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll touch on it here in a minute.
All right. The first thing the draft kind of special, whatever was going on, was showing draft parties for the Vancouver Canucks, the Chicago Blackhawks, and the San Jose Sharks. And I was just kind of thinking, I'm like, I don't know if I would want to go to a draft party. Like, I guess it's just a reason to hang out with hockey people and drink beer, but that's what we're doing here. So I don't need to go to a draft party. So yeah, they're going through all the odds of, I guess, the chances of winning, or how they do the balls and whatever it is. So
I mean, everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know the draft lottery. Everybody wants to know who wins the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes.
So if the Blues, if there was a draft party near you, would you go to a draft party?
No, because then it means we were so shitty that we were like, this is what we have to celebrate. I'd rather be going to like a conference semifinal game rather than we fucking suck so much that now we're celebrating a draft pick.
A draft party. Well, for some of these teams, it's all they have to hope for, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Like the Shithawks.
Yeah. So, all right. While the draft lottery kind of gets started and goes through, we can kind of recap round 1 of the NHL playoffs. We already talked about Colorado and Carolina's sweep, so not much to talk about there. But as of last episode, we did still have, 6 series still moving on. So, Dakota, you want to just knock this one out of the way first? Dallas and Minnesota. How heartbroken are you?
I mean, as you can see, no jersey hanging up. Unfortunately, we had to retire it back to where it belongs in the closet. I'm honestly kind of disappointed. I think this was we touched on. It's an evenly matched series, so both teams deserve to win that series. Obviously, playing the homer pick, I wish Dallas would have pulled through. But like I said, I think I said it towards the end of our last podcast. If Minnie beats Dallas, I know we're gonna probably touch on fucking game 1 of round 2, but I mean they're a dangerous team. They've got a lot of great players. They have really good offensive depth all the way up to their D-core. they obviously beat Dallas single-handedly. I mean, obviously it was 4-2 series, but they easily could have taken at least one or two of those games away from Dallas quickly. Tough to see, but Minnie is a scary team. Like, they finished third in the Central for a reason, right behind Dallas's heels, and they played Dallas hard. So I was excited that that series. Would have liked to see it go 7. I think that would have been really cool for the fans, but they beat them in 6 and on to Colorado.
Yeah, and a crazy start to that, which we will get into, but let's recap the rest of round 1. You are now fully entrenched into the Vegas Golden Knights bandwagon after they handle Utah 4-2. We were talking about earlier, maybe we should have, which is Jason pops up and says, this guy in his Vegas jersey.
Easy.
I will say I haven't been to very many away stadiums, but I have been to Vegas, and it was a blast. Like, Vegas was a lot of fun because even we had a group of like 10 or 15 of us, so we were getting drunk, having a good time. And even Vegas's like mascot yelled at us, like, that since he was a dude and not like in a costume, or like Louis is like a whole bear kind of thing. I guess since he was a real person, he could like shoot the shit with people. And so we like said stuff to him and he said stuff back to us. And I was like, oh, is he allowed to do that kind of thing? But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Utah put up a fight here, but Vegas, I think, just the better team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of disappointed in Utah's, showing. I really thought that, again, we talked about this being a game 7. I think Utah played Vegas hard. Vegas, for the first 2 games, it just didn't seem like they had their legs. Vegas somehow found a way to came back. Their Lord and Savior, Mark Stone, and I believe Ivan Barbashev, Jack Eichel kind of took that team and ran with it. I think that's the best signing that Vegas ever had was Ivan Barbashev after he won the Cup with the Blues. He got his payday and went to Vegas. So excited to see what Vegas has in store for Anaheim. Again, that's going to be a pretty nice little matchup. We all know Joel Quenneville is just an absolute unit when it comes to winning. And he's doing well for Anaheim. So that's going to be a series that's going to be fun to watch. I know right now Vegas is up 1-0 on that series, but would like to see if that game also goes 6. Again, that's what playoff hockey is all about. Like, I don't think seeing a sweep is fun. I think it's fun for, obviously the team that's, sweeping the other team, but playoff hockey is all about grinding, right? We want to see these teams. If you get beat 3-2 in one game, you come back and beat the other team 3-2 because now you've kind of got a scouting report. Would love to see long series. I mean, we saw that in 19. Fuck, the Blues went the distance with Boston. I think they went the distance with Dallas, and I think they went 6 games in the other 2. So it would love to see longer series.
It was a lot of hockey, that playoff run. Jason did ask if we are watching the lottery. Yeah, we'll kind of go through the recap of the first round. We'll get into the second round, and as the draft lottery moves on, we will get into that too. It looks like they are dropping the balls in right now, and now I have an ad for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar, which no free ads, but Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar Creamy Coconut. It's actually really good. So,
oh shit.
I impulse bought that at the store the other day. I was like, what's that? I've never had that. So it was pretty good. So Vegas into the second round. They are currently playing Anaheim, which had a 6-game win against Edmonton. We kind of talked last episode about how shitty it would be if Edmonton lost and if McDavid would be like, I'm out of here. And weirdly enough, I don't know, Dakota, if you heard the press conference, but it kind of sounded like Draisaitl was like, we better get our shit together or he's leaving, despite just signing an 8-year extension.
Well, I mean, too, Connor McDavid, I think, was in a presser as well. We obviously found out that Connor was playing with, I think it was like a tibia or something with his leg or foot. That dude's just an absolute horse. But what he said in his post-game presser was kind of shocking, honestly, is he was like, we were an average team all year long, and when we play as an average team, what do you expect to happen? And that's big words from Captain McDavid. So it's like, I understand. I think his frustration is I've been to this place so many times. I've been to the playoffs so many times with so many different units. is it me or is it the team? And I honestly think it's the team. I don't think it's him. He puts up numbers every single year long. It doesn't matter how many games he plays. You never know what's going to happen, but his offensive ability, him putting up points, has never wavered. I don't think he's ever had a down here since he's been in the NHL. I think it's just the core that they build around him. I mean, we can even throw Draisaitl in there too. He's always up in points as well. You just got to find that group. I don't think you have to spend $100 million to put a team on the ice that's going to win you a cup. I mean, fuck, look at the St. Louis Blues. I mean, I think we did it for, pretty cheap. It just, all things have to click. And I feel bad for McDavid. I don't know what the answer is. Is it him leaving, Edmonton and finding a way somewhere else to get the job done? Or does he stick it out and just, I don't know. It's tough to say, but Anaheim definitely was a better team in that series overall, obviously after winning 4-2. But, Anaheim played them well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that will be interesting. McDavid still has 2 more years in Edmonton. So we'll see if he sticks out those 2 more years, or if they go into next year and either miss the playoffs or lose in the first round again, does he say it's time for a trade? 7 is the first number, which gave the Blues, bumped the Blues up a little bit. We got a 4.2% chance now after the first number. So yeah, looks like that hurt the Chicago Blackhawks. I love to see that.
Do you know if McDavid has a clause?
I would imagine he's no movement. I would guess. I can't imagine. I mean, his extension was $12.5 million. Like, that's cheap for McDavid. So the second ball number is a 2, which should update the lottery odds. Our Detroit pick is officially out. We now have a 6.1% chance at the first overall pick. It looks like Seattle could jump from 6-1. They have the best odds right now. That's 7-2. So we'll see what happens next. Matt Bailey brings up that Adam Jiricek could be coming down to Springfield. He finished his, I believe, OHL season on a pretty spectacular note. He had a really good playoffs, but it looks like maybe they'll sign him real quick and send him down to the AHL to see if they can't help out Springfield in their playoff run against Boston's AHL affiliate right now. All right, we are officially out of the lottery, and it looks like everything's kind of just holding fast. It's going to come down to this last line, but we're going to pick 11 and 15. So,
hell yeah!
No, kind of as expected. Nothing exciting there for us there. Just don't let the Blackhawks win it, please. That would annoy the shit out of me. So, next games, then let's go Philly and Pittsburgh. Philly closes it out against old man Pittsburgh and Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Carlson, all of those guys. Jeremy Swayman played his ass off, but just didn't have the help, I guess, that he needed. So Philly takes that 4-2, and now Philly is in the midst of getting their ass kicked in round 2. That, I think, was actually my favorite series to watch, though, that Philly-Pittsburgh. I thought that was a lot of fun. It was a lot high pace, lots of hits, decent amount of goals. Like, that was some fun hockey to watch.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think the Battle of Pennsylvania, I mean, you got what you were asking for. A lot of hits. Scoring was kind of, in some cases, lopsided, but damn, that you love seeing that rivalry renewed, especially in the playoffs. Didn't really have Pittsburgh going 7. I thought they'd kind of, go 6, maybe even 5. But, for Sid the Kid, I, would love to see him kind of advance and kind of, push himself more and more into the history books when it comes to, playoff goals and whatnot. But, yeah, Philly played a decent series, and I mean, watching Carolina beat Ottawa single-handedly, you kind of set yourself up for, man, they're going to have to play a spectacular, Western or Eastern Conference semi. And it just doesn't look that way. So
Yeah,
we could be talking about Carolina with another sweep, and I hope the hell we don't, because they don't need any more rest. But yeah, it's going to be a good series.
All right. And then the last game for round one was the only game 7, which was kind of disappointing. Only one game 7 for the first round, but it was Montreal, Tampa Bay, a series that was pretty much just within one goal always. It was either tied or within one goal. And Montreal gets the win on game 7 after giving up, I think, nearly 30 shots, maybe over 30 shots. But only giving themselves 9 shots on goal, and they get the win. I don't know. What did you expect Montreal to pull that one out, or do you think Tampa would do it?
I mean, I was rooting for Montreal the entire time, and I got a lot of shit from a lot of my buddies, and they're like, "Well, what's wrong with Tampa?" I was like, "It's not that I don't like Tampa. For me, I'm a homer through and through. Like any Blues player that formerly played for us or had any sort of stint for us, like I'm gonna cheer for you, right? If you couldn't get it done with us, like I'd love to see you kind of still host a cup. If you're a good guy, good player, and a good locker room presence, and that's Zach Bolduc, right? You wish nothing but success for him. I believe Alexander Texier is also on that team. So you kind of want Zach Bolduc to be part of a team that kind of goes a little deeper than the Blues could. So that's kind of where that pick came from. Good on Tampa Bay, better on Montreal. Montreal just outplayed Tampa, and again, crazy to win it. When you only put 9 shots down range and score on 2 of those guys. So a crazy way to do it, but yeah, they're going to be playing. I believe this, and again, don't quote me, but I believe this could be the best series of the Stanley Cup, brewing, which is Buffalo, and that's Montreal Canadiens. I think that's going to be a real cool matchup.
Mm-hmm. The NHL has successfully rigged the draft lottery so that Gavin McKenna goes to a big market team. They clearly did not want him to play in Vancouver, and it was too obvious to make him go to Chicago, so they have rigged it so the Toronto Maple Leafs will be getting Gavin McKenna so he can play with Austin Matthews.
Oh, shit.
So, yes, Toronto Maple Leafs win the that's so, I mean, it's all percentages and it's whatever, but you can't tell me that every time you have a big name player, he goes to a Toronto Maple Leafs team that was bad for 1 year, and now they should be back in the playoffs anyway. But
damn.
So just I didn't even read this yet before I said that. The Leafs won. The league is a joke. I mean, they almost don't even hide it. Like, if maybe you could say Celebrini going to San Jose is not a big market team, but yeah, it's definitely wasn't going to go to Vancouver. So,
I mean, they got their ROI for sure. Mitch Marner going to fucking Vegas. Now they get fucking Gavin McKenna.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, just a replacement there for Marner. So,
jeez. Or hypothetically, Gavin McKenna just fucking gets, I guess driven out of town because Toronto's, fan base is fucking ruthless. I mean the ceiling for Gavin McKenna is so high.
Yeah, he's gonna have to perform. Cody brings up that the stipulation on all of Toronto's first protections is crazy with what happened. So that pick was actually already dealt to the Boston Bruins, but it was top 5 protected. So Toronto will keep their pick. I'm imagining then a different, maybe 2027 first round is going to transfer to them, and maybe their 2027 was already traded to somebody else, so that might transfer, and it might just kind of snowball down. I'll pull it up here, but I'm sure they've been trading their first round picks like candy for a while, so we'll see kind of where it ends up. So their first round pick was top 5 protected, so they're going to keep that. Yeah, I have no idea where this would go. If this pick slides to 2027 and is in the top 10, Toronto can either transfer it to Boston to satisfy his trade and then give Phil. Yeah, there's a lot. It's a mess. I don't want to read all that. So it's crazy. So yeah, Toronto gets the first overall pick. They will pull the draft lottery balls here again one more time to see who is going to get the second overall pick. That's it. All right, let's get into second round matchups then. We'll start with the fun one, Colorado and Minnesota. Game one was a barn burner. Colorado looked like they were just completely outplaying Minnesota. At one point, I posted and said that Minnesota looked like they were an ECHL team playing Colorado. It was 3-0. As soon as I posted that, Minnesota scores. Then they score again. So it ends up being 3-2, I think, at the first intermission. Game ends 9-6, 15 total goals, 14 different scorers. McCarr only played like a minute and a half of the first period. He didn't even hardly play the first period. Dakota, go ahead. Takeaways from game one of this semifinal game or semis.
It's for me, it was hard to watch because I was like, is this a playoff game or is this a fucking scrimmage? Because like, I mean, just the amount of goals that were scored in this game is just laughable. Because like these are supposed to be as the teams get deeper into the playoffs, the defense is going to be far greater than the offense, I believe, because you're like, fuck, this next goal that's scored could be the fucking end of it, and that could be us going down 1-0 or whatever. So it was laughable to kind of see that happen. I was in and out watching it, trying to build furniture left and right at the house. So I was seeing some of the like alerts going off on my phone. I was like, there's got to be a fucking glitch somehow, some way, like either the NHL app starts, going crazy with their algorithm. I was like, I'm fucking seeing like fucking 6-4, 6. I'm like, what are we doing? So I sure as shit tune in, and yeah, it's like, it's just an absolute slaughter fest. I was like, the amount of shots on goal and goals scored, that's got to be some sort of record in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know if we've done that much research, but damn, if that's how the whole series is going to be. I mean, I did see that Mini is changing their goaltenders from Jesper Wallstedt to Philip Gustafsson. So we shall see what that does for Mini in game two. But holy hell. If that's any sample size as to what the series is going to be, buckle the fuck up, friends, because Colorado is going to run away with this.
Right. They are in the middle of second draw now. First number was an 11. Second number is 4. Our Detroit pick has officially been ousted, and our own pick has a 1.5% chance right now to end up 2 overall. So that one's probably out. Weirdly enough, Florida's pick is already out at 11-4. So that's interesting. I mean, realistically, I would have liked the second pick, but it does not look like that's going to happen. Once they make this next draw, I imagine we will be ousted and then officially being picked 11 or being picked at 11 and 15. Let's see. Next number is a 3. I don't know what our numbers are that we need, but next number is a 3. And the Blues are officially out. So we will have 11 and we will have 15. Luckily, no one behind us is moving up. So it's not like we're going to move down 1 at all. San Jose has a decent shot at number 2 right now. Toronto might win the top pick again. Like they might win the lottery 2 times, which I don't really know what happens then. They only have 1 pick, so they can't like get the first and the second pick. So if they win again, I don't know how that would work, kind of thing. So, all right. Your Vegas Golden Knights are currently up 1-0 in the second round here of the Eastern Conference, or not the Eastern, the Pacific Division there. Are you worried about Anaheim, or do you think Vegas can handle them?
I'm worried about Anaheim because I believe that Vegas is going to be try to be too cute this series. I mean, they had 22 shots in the first game, and Anaheim had 34. So I think Anaheim's going to be one of those teams that's, owed to the St. Louis Blues. They're going to be gritty, and they're going to throw everything that they can on net. I'm not saying that it's going to go 7, but I think this is going to be one of those tighter matchups, which, I mean, again, like I talked about this before, I think that's playoff hockey. I would love to see, 5, 6, 7 instead of 4, straight and see you later. So I think Vegas still takes this one in 6, but Anaheim's not going to go down without a fight. And I think that's just Joe Quenneville, and that's how he's coached his team. Good on him, and good to have him back in hockey. But I think my biggest worry is Carter Hart going to get gassed because of how many pucks he's seeing.
Yeah. That's also a crazy one, is the fact that Carter Hart is the starting goalie for Vegas after being with Philly, going through that Canada, trial and everything, Team Canada trial, and then finally re-signing. I think even after he re-signed, he played a couple NHL games, and then they sent him down, didn't they? I think he had to play a little bit with Henderson before he called up. So San Jose did just officially win the 2nd overall pick, which means Vancouver was the worst team of the season, and they're going to have the 3rd pick in the draft, which really sucks for them. But I mean, you now have, again, I mean, if you are writing a script for the NHL, it just makes sense. I have Gavin McKenna now paired with Austin Matthews. That seems like a pretty good deal to make sure that he does well this year. And now I have Ivar Stenberg paired with Macklin Celebrini. So it's like, I don't know. I guess just try to hide it a little bit more if you were the NHL, but no. So Toronto gets 1, San Jose gets 2, and then everyone else just kind of falls in place. So the Blues will be 11-15, pending a trade of some sort. Let's move on to the Eastern Conference then. Tomorrow begins what you said might be the most exciting series in Buffalo and Montreal. I can say, kind of being, our Buffalo bandwagon here, I was happy to see Montreal beat Tampa Bay, just because Tampa Bay is the more veteran type of team. And now with Buffalo not necessarily being a veteran team, obviously they're new to the playoffs. You kind of have a lot of new in Buffalo and Montreal, which might bring, like you said, getting the most excitement, because you have 2 really good, young, high-skilled teams playing there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to hop on the Buffalo bandwagon just because everybody knows that I like to stroke off Tage Thompson. Don't clip that and use it against me in later use. But no, Tage Thompson, my favorite Blue of all time, even though he never wore the colors. But it's good to see a guy like that get a chance, and I know that Jack Eichel left the Sabres on a bad note, but I think they got their Eichel back in Tage Thompson. Would love to see this series go the distance, just again for NHL standpoint, but this is going to be one of those series like that. It could be the best series of the whole playoffs, and I'm talking finals too. So, Alex Tuch and Tage Thompson, and then you got Nick Suzuki, and I'm hoping Zach Bolduc just comes out and fucking. I know he's not one of those higher guys on the line, but I think he's been kind of soft these playoffs. I would love to kind of see him shine in the big moments, because I think he was a big moment guy for us. He played a lot of minutes in the power play and put a lot of goals in range, but just want to see a former Blue have success.
Yeah, and I think Texier has actually been playing better than him in Montreal than Zach Bolduc has. And then we touched on a little bit, Carolina is already up 2-0 on Philly. They did have to take the game last night in overtime, but Philly scored 2 quick, and Carolina came back and won. I believe the final was 3-2. So they scored those 2 quick in the first period and didn't really have anything else after that. So Carolina could be going on a 8-0 streak here to start the playoffs.
Did we really think that was going to happen, though? Like, I didn't have Carolina fucking steamrolling, the first 2 teams they faced. I mean, they're a deep team and they're a very good offensive team on paper, but Jesus, that's good. I mean, it's crazy to say that they could go 8-0 before they get to the Eastern Conference Finals. They had the easiest route, I believe.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020, so we know that they dominated Ottawa, but when we talked about it last week, we said, okay, well, the two teams that, won their divisions swept. So it kind of makes sense. But if you're looking at the route, like Ottawa, if I'm Carolina, I'm not very scared of them. And then looking at Pittsburgh or Philly, either one of those, I'm not really scared about them. Like for Colorado's route, you're not worried about the Kings, but you're worried about Dallas or Minnesota. Like that's an issue. Looking at Vegas's route, Utah is young, and I wouldn't be really worried about them, but I would have expected them to win a couple. Then I would have been scared of Edmonton, but Anaheim took care of them. So now you're kind of scared of Anaheim. So I don't think anyone has an easier route to their conference final than Carolina does.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. And again, like it goes to show too, like this could also backfire on Carolina too. But because I think if you have too much rest, you have too much time to think.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, you can do all the scouting and that you want, but if you're looking at, if you're looking ahead in the series and Carolina cashes in on this, Philly series, who are you more afraid of, Buffalo or Montreal? Like you just touched on, they're both young teams. Carolina tends to be a very, I would say, more veteran than anything. If you're going to face one of those two teams, who do you hope to face, and who are you the most afraid of?
If I'm Carolina?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I'd rather play Montreal.
Yeah, I would be afraid of Buffalo.
Yeah, I would be afraid. I think Buffalo has the bigger names in Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, Rasmus Dahlin. Like Montreal, I think is still like a year or two away from being Buffalo. Like Nick Suzuki's going to get there. Slavkovsky, whatever that guy's name is, going to get there. Cole Caulfield, I've not heard much of anything from these playoffs. And maybe he's doing well, but it just hasn't kind of popped up on my radar. So I think they're a couple years away still. And I know they have like all of their core players signed for like the next 4 or 5 years. So I would almost, if I could bet 5 years in advance, I would say Montreal's going to have a cup within the next 5 years.
Do you think Colorado escapes the curse of the President's Trophy?
I hope not. But they are the best team. And I think one thing I noticed, especially just watching them, and they're about to play in about 30 minutes or so. But if you watch this game, just watch how often they shoot the puck. Like their game plan is not to, get it deep, forecheck, do all that. If they can take the zone, they take the zone, they make one pass, and then the puck's on the net. And they just crash. Yeah. And they're just like, we're just going to pick up the puck off of these shots, and that's going to be like our dumping. And it just wears people out. I mean, they're very well coached in how they do that. To be honest, it's kind of how I play NHL. Like if I ever play the NHL, I always find out which hand the goalie is. For some reason, the goalie's glove's on his right hand, but typically it's on his left. And I shoot to the right, or I shoot to the goalie's right all the time because he blockers it off, and it just kind of wears everybody down. And then that's how you kind of forecheck and get the puck in. But yeah, the amount of times that they get into the offensive zone and just shoot instead of like trying to hold the puck up on the boards or trying to, cycle it around, whatever it is, they just seem to put the puck on net a lot more than specifically the Blues, watching them.
Crazy stat, though. I mean, right now it has been kind of an onslaught for Colorado and Mini, but do you think this series, if Mini ties it up tonight, do you think it could go the distance based off of how kind of, I would say, mismatched they might be, but also evenly matched if you look at statistics?
If Minnesota wins tonight, I'll say that it'll go 6 or 7. If they lose tonight, I think it only goes 5.
I like that take. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Colorado, in their mind, I don't think if they win tonight, they're thinking sweep because they've got all the momentum. I mean, Minnesota's gonna have to play on their heels if they go down 2-0 in Colorado. They have to win at least one in Mini. If you go down 3-0, fuck. Colorado has nothing to lose, so they're just going to basically just play with you. So
Right.
I'm curious how that series goes. I'd like to see it more competitive than what Colorado faced in the first round. Because the Dallas mini series could have gone 7, and that would have been one hell of a series, but it already was. We didn't think that Minnesota was going to dominate Dallas like they did. So I was kind of hoping for a little bit more of that in this Colorado Avalanche series. So time will tell.
Right. I said that they would go 6 or 7, and Chandler got a kick out of that. All right, now's probably a good time for me to tell you where to buy things. So make sure you guys check out Scooter's Coffee. Specifically, if you guys can go to the drive-thrus on Highway 143 and Troxler Way in Highland, or Vandalia Street and Indiana Avenue in Collinsville. If you cannot make either of those, you can check out any of the other 30 locations in the greater St. Louis area. That is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast Scooter's Coffee. Whoa! Also, go ahead and check out Hughes Custom Design. They are a family-owned and run small business that is operated out of Maryville, Illinois. They specialize in laser-cut, hand-painted signs, and they have options that are typically ready upon request, and they can complete almost any request for custom jobs. So check out Hughes Custom Design. You can find them on Facebook. Also, look at Imprint Labs. Imprint Labs specializes in bringing your brand to life with the custom laser-engraved Richardson hats and vibrant custom sublimated metal prints. Whether you want to make a statement with high-quality headwear or showcase your designs on eye-catching metal art, they deliver precision, durability, and style every time. Elevate your brand with Imprint Labs, where your vision meets our craftsmanship. All right. Looks like Chandler's got a question for us, so let's tackle this before we kind of go wherever other direction we want to go. Chandler says, here's a question to ask. Guess on the Blues' regular season record next season. So what will their record be next season? You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I mean, we all know that my numbers, like just counting in general, is fucking.
Well, instead of like wins, losses, and overtimes losses, let's just go points. How many points do you think they get?
96.
96. And does that get you into the playoffs?
Yeah, I believe we're going to be second in. I believe second in the conference, so second in the West, or sorry, second in the Central. Jesus Christ.
Well, so Avalanche had 121, Stars had 112, Wild had 104. So, I mean, those three teams are not getting any worse this offseason. So if you want top 3 in the Central, you might have to be looking at in the 100 range.
See, I had their record have like at least 45 wins. So maybe I go 106.
106?
Because 45 wins puts you at 90 points, and I think because we're playing 84 games this year.
All right. See, I don't know if we get into that top 3. So you're going 106. I might steal your 96.
You think we're second wild card?
With that, I think we're wild card, which is going to suck because then you're either playing probably the Avalanche again, because I think they have everybody signed to things. I even like Brock Nelson, maybe they might lose, but I know they have Kadri signed. Yeah, their free agents are Jack Drury, Joel Kiviranta, Zakar, people I've never heard of, Brett Kulak, Brent Burns. Yeah, their whole team returns next year. They don't lose anybody. That's pretty impressive roster construction. Brock Nelson is at $7.5 million. Landeskog's at $7 million. Nekis is actually at his extension kicks in next year, so he'll be at 11.5 next year. Kadri's at $5.6 million for the next 3 seasons. So, yeah. Chandler's going with 94 points and second wild card. And second wild card means you're probably either playing Colorado if they're the best team in the Central, or probably somebody like Vegas or Edmonton if they can get their shit together over there, whoever's in the top seed in the East. But there's a good chance you're playing a President's Trophy winner again, since they've come from the West the last 2 seasons. So second wild card would be a doozy, but we do know that the Blues do not like playing bad teams, and they do like playing good teams. So maybe that's a good thing. So I do think kind of reading Jeremy Rutherford's article in The Athletic about the fan questionnaire that he kind of sent out, a lot of people have the Blues making the playoffs next year. A lot, of course, all of them are Blues fans. So obviously that's what we want. So we shall see. So over the weekend, Dylan Holloway signed. We actually need to talk about that. We didn't discuss that because that did not happen. So Dylan Holloway signs an extension, which was pretty
5 years,
exciting.
7.7.
Yeah, 5 years, $38.75 million total. So 7.75 is his annual cap hit. I've gone on record a couple times on this podcast talking about Robert Thomas and how him being the best player and his long-term contract and his 8.125 cap hit is like almost creating a ceiling. And like maybe Doug Armstrong like goes into these negotiations and says, listen, we love you, Dylan Holloway. We think you're a great player, but Robert Thomas is our guy, and you can't make more than him. And I don't know if that conversation happens, but it just seems like between the Dylan Holloway extension, the Philip Broberg extension, and the Pavel Buchnevich extension, all of these extensions are either 5 years or the Broberg ones or Broberg and Buchnevich were 6 years, but they're all under that 8.125. So I wrote an article about it and had Jeremy with Interstate 70 Sports Media go ahead and edit it for me and posted it online. And I had so many people responding to it and just be like, this is stupid. This is dumb. This makes no sense. And I was like,
But I think it does. It absolutely makes sense because you're not gonna oversell somebody who's not playing to what you think or you believe to be what your best player on your team is playing to, right? It also opens up so many opportunities for you to just fuck yourself at the cap. Like these are very cap friendly deals, and some may say like the Blues just tend to find guys that are very like team friendly. You know, they want to win a cup. You're not going to try and stretch your team to the maxes just for you to get your payday. I think the team around you makes up if you're going to make the playoffs or win a Stanley Cup. I mean, I think your article was great. I'm not going to, try to pump your tires too much, but it makes sense that, you're not going to try and go and be like, oh, well, Thomas is making this. We were playing on the same line. Like, I think you got to pay me the same. And again, we don't know how negotiations work, but I think it makes sense. Hey, this guy, this is our guy. This is the one, like, our bread and butter. You're around him, but you're not going to be with him.
Right. Yeah. Maria says, Bucci, when the hell did that happen? He signed his contract, I think, or his extension 2 years ago. This year was the first year of his extension. So, and actually it was, where'd it go? I had it up here. 6 years. So 6 years, $8 million a year, but still under that. And I keep calling it the Robert Thomas number, but Jordan Kyrou is at that same number too. They signed that contract on the same day.
Boy, to be a fly on the wall on that Bucci like exit interview, to be a fly on the wall after knowing how much he's made this year. I mean, the team had to have been like, look, dude, this was like the worst year you could have possibly had. What the fuck are you going to bring to the table next year?
Right. So whenever I look at that Robert Thomas situation, I like to think of it as like the Sidney Crosby effect, because Sidney Crosby, 6 years ago, signed Well, actually, let's see. Yeah, he just kept it the same. So Sidney Crosby has been getting paid $8.7 million since he was 21 years old. He's been $8.7 million every year since he was 21. He's 38 now. He's never increased his salary. He got through his entry-level deal, and then he's like, all right, give me 8.7, and I'll just take that. They just kept going. It was, damn, that's kind of nuts. 8.7. So he signed his entry-level contract, and then he did 8.7 for 5 years. And then he did 8.7 for 12 years before the CBA put the 8-year max on. And then now he did 8.7 for 2 years. So he's been getting paid $8.7 million for a long time now. And if you look at the salary of the Pittsburgh Penguins, nobody that Pittsburgh has signed, that's a caveat, is getting paid more than him. Like, the only person that's getting paid more than him is Erik Karlsson, and that's because he signed his contract with San Jose. He did not sign his contract with them. So, kind of the same thing. I'm not trying to say that Robert Thomas is the same type of player as Sidney Crosby. Like, Robert Thomas is a good player. Sidney Crosby is generational. But he's having the same effect as far as the salaries. So Maria says, how much per dive does that equal? That's funny. Actually, if it was per dive, Crosby might actually make more, Maria. There's a good chance there. He is known to be one of the better ones at the old diving. So, all right. What else, Dakota? Anything else we need to talk about?
I don't know. There's not a lot has happened. I mean, obviously series have come and gone, but maybe preview your picks for the next round. Maybe we can kind of take a shot in the dark.
For the Colorado-Minnesota series, I unfortunately have to go Colorado, but I would absolutely love if Minnesota won.
Fuck Kroenke.
Yeah, even though I'm going to be in Colorado on Thursday. I'm in Colorado over the weekend. So maybe I'll see if there's a hockey bar somewhere in Colorado Springs and catch a game. Vegas and Anaheim. I think it's probably the same thing. Excuse me. I think Vegas wins. I think I would rather like Anaheim to win, just something different. I'm tired of how impressive Vegas has been their whole franchise history. So I'd prefer Anaheim, but I think Vegas wins that. Buffalo, easy. I'm taking Buffalo in a sweep, 4-0. Montreal sucks. And then probably Carolina. Carolina in a sweep too. Philly sucks. You said Buffalo, Montreal might be the best series of the playoffs. If it goes Buffalo, Carolina, I think that's going to be the best series of the playoffs. Like, even if Colorado and Vegas gets into the Western Conference Finals, which I expect, I still think Colorado is just so good that they can handle that easy. But that Buffalo-Carolina series, if that's what we get in the Eastern Conference Finals, I think that'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, the only change I would make would be Mini over Colorado. I can't stand Stan Kroenke, and just to watch, anything happen good for Colorado, that just makes me want to fucking rage. Plus Nazem Kadri just sucks all the way around. So yeah, Mini over Colorado, Vegas over Anaheim, Buffalo over Montreal, even though I think Zach Bolduc would be cool to see him kind of advance on. But thank you, Tage Thompson, for all that you did for the Blues, or not. And then, yeah, obviously Carolina over Philly. That's just going to be just an absolute slaughter fest. So I think the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference Finals are going to be fun, but I think we're all looking forward to something new in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah. No Florida, no Edmonton. So it's going to be.
I mean, hey, I wouldn't hate Anaheim, Buffalo. That would be fucking sick.
That would be fun. That would be a good one. Also, it looks like we are tracking for the nation of Canada to not win a Stanley Cup this year. Most of their teams, as far as, I guess it was just Ottawa and Edmonton. That's all they really had. But Ottawa and Edmonton are out, so it is on Montreal's shoulders right now, and they are the underdog going into this round 2 series. So the Stanley Cup may be staying in the United States again. So win gold, win the Stanley Cup. I mean, hockey is North America sport, but it's almost leaning towards USA sport now. It's not even Canada's anymore.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, we might go ahead and cut it short then. Next week we'll have some more round 2 games to kind of check in on. Buffalo will have played a couple games by then, so we will be able to check on that score. There's a chance that Carolina will have swept by next week. There's a chance that Colorado or Vegas could have swept by next week. We will see. I expect Carolina to sweep. I won't be surprised if Vegas sweeps Anaheim. Anaheim, I know, has looked good. I haven't watched the West Coast games because they start too late, and I'm lazy. But I only have 2 more weeks of school, and then I'll stay up and watch it as much as I need to. Then I don't have to go to bed early. All right, Dakota, any final words?
No, I'm just excited for some good round 2 hockey, and yeah, like I said, next week's gonna be fun when we talk about all the things that happened the week prior. So, if you're a hockey fan, tune in. If you're a Blues fan, still tune in and cheer on all the former Blues. But I think that's it for us here, right?
Yes, sir. All right. Check out Scooter's Coffee. I'm going to have to get some Scooter's Coffee Thursday morning. It's already in my plans because I have softball. Well, maybe softball tomorrow night. I don't know. That might get canceled with all the rain. So check out Scooter's Coffee, Hughes Custom Design on Facebook, and then Imprint Labs on Facebook or Instagram. Make sure you guys give us a like, follow, subscribe, do all of those things. Same thing with Interstate 70 Sports Media. And we will be back next week. See ya, everybody.